In Formula One, especially when it comes to Ferrari, there is often a tendency towards pessimism. It's a common practice because hitting hard on Ferrari has become a classic. Many people enjoy it regardless, and generally, it's good for business as it always attracts views and clicks. Perhaps by analyzing all the aspects which led to a result in the Spanish Grand Prix that isn't great but not horrible either. Is finishing in 5th and 6th place acceptable? Clearly no. Is it nice to see that there isn't perfect harmony among the Ferrari drivers on track? Again, no. Is it wise to judge the updates seen in Spain as incorrect? Again, no. In Formula One, it takes time to validate an update package, sometimes more, sometimes less. What seems wrong, however, is expecting some changes to immediately make a car fly. Other teams have struggled in this regard as well. Mercedes took at least 3 races to make everything work. Even Red Bull brought various updates that were supposed to create a gap with competitors, a scenario that does not seem to be present. Only McLaren has been truly successful in this aspect, although even in their case, the updates from Miami worked better after 3 races. All this to say that the Maranello team has not done a bad job. On the contrary, the results are there. Just observe the onboards of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz when the Spaniard had the new package, and the Monegasque was still using the old specification. For the rest, we can say that with equal rear load, Ferrari's top speeds have increased. Regarding downforce, there is still work to be done because the setup used during the Spanish Grand Prix weekend was not perfect, which limited the performance of the SF-24 single-seater at the 4.657-kilometer Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. This was a significant issue at Montmelò. Fortunately, track action returns in a few days. We refer to the 11th round of the 2024 Formula One season, as the premier motorsport category will land in Austria, home of Red Bull. Certainly it is not an easy track, but one that overall is undoubtedly less complicated than the Spanish circuit. This does not mean that Ferrari will start as the favorite. On the contrary, the Spielberg circuit might not suit the Italian team very well. However, by learning from the recent lesson, Ferrari has the chance to present itself in the splendid Austrian setting in the best possible way. Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur has tried to minimize the controversy regarding Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. He did so by agreeing with the Spaniard in the sense that the close encounter on track, according to the Frenchman, did not affect the final result of car number 16. It remains to be understood, away from the media spotlight, how the situation was managed. Wash dirty laundry at home seems to be the impression of the affair. The ever-cheerful Fred Vasseur usually avoids public disputes. It would serve little purpose since the relationship between the Ferrari drivers must necessarily remain good to perform well. Again, it's always Frédéric Vasseur. The French manager admits that the results obtained are not satisfactory. However, he does not dramatize about Canada, and specifically regarding the updates, he claims that the numbers gathered over the weekend in Spain are good, the expected ones to be clear. In other words, to clarify, Ferrari has verified on the track that the values hypothesized in the simulation field for the upgrades match. This means the updates are effective, not wrong. At the same time, it means that the technicians were not able to make them work properly, unfortunately. That's why things will change in Austria, or at least this is the operational plan that the Italian team intends to implement. The feedback collected by the Maranello technicians will be crucial. These days, the endless amount of data collected is being analyzed. The goal remains to increase the understanding of the new components, widen the setup window, and enhance the competitiveness of the red car. The operation is not at all simple, but as the Ferrari team principal himself said, next weekend the car will be used better. Unlocking the potential of the upgrades is the task at hand. Lastly, the tire issue. We know well how the Italian F1 team, through very hard work, wanted to build a car capable of naturally managing the tires. That is the opposite of the SF-23, to be clear, a car that destroyed tires after 5 laps. Having fixed this issue, there remains the task of correcting the activation and maintenance of the correct usage window, which in certain competitive scenarios just refuses to work. This is what happened in Barcelona during the qualifying session, once again, and to a lesser extent during the Spanish Grand Prix as well. Achieving this will mean making an additional competitive step necessary to compete at the top, in any context, always being able to offer the best version of itself. McLaren succeeds like Red Bull. Mercedes has also been able to do so lately, and in this sense, the results are evident to all. The hope for the next round is precisely this. This factor, combined with the validation of the updates, can undoubtedly make the two SF-24 single-seaters work better. A very good car, but too often not used to its full potential in this first part of the 2024 Formula One Championship. At the same time, Ferrari boss Frédéric Vasseur has denied claims that McLaren is outdeveloping the Scuderia and explained why its progress seems slower. Ferrari started the 2024 Formula One campaign as the closest challenger to Red Bull. But after McLaren introduced an upgrade package in Miami, the MCL38 has passed the SF-24 as nearest rival to the RB20 across a wide range of tracks. Lando Norris has finished second to Max Verstappen 4 times in 11 races, including in 3 of the last 4, and defeated the Red Bull in Miami as Ferrari has slipped back in the pecking order, with Mercedes also looking increasingly strong. Although it scored a 1-3 finish on the streets of Monte Carlo and Monaco, Ferrari suffered a double retirement at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal before laboring to a 5-6 in Spain, with Charles Leclerc detailing the SF-24 car was suffering in high-speed corners. When the progress of McLaren was put to Frédéric Vasseur, he rejected the idea that it was outdeveloping the Maranello team. In the 3rd season of the ground effects rules, the field's convergence is an increasing trend. The previously substantial upgrade packages are becoming smaller and more refined as teams fine-tune their car concepts. Frédéric Vasseur noted that it takes time to maximize the benefits from an upgrade package when it is first delivered to the car. He explained that every team is now bringing parts every 2 or 3 events, and while the focus is often on aerodynamics, other developments are also ongoing. It can take 1 or 2 events to fully realize the potential of a new package. The French manager observed that there is a convergence of performance, noting that last year, teams often saw improved performance in the race following the introduction of new parts. He predicted that this trend would continue, with teams maintaining similar performance levels and introducing smaller packages compared to those brought 2 years ago. As previously stated, Charles Leclerc believes Ferrari's high-speed corner performance is a major weakness of its Formula One package, as he urged the team to find a solution. Ferrari is facing ongoing concerns that were first detected during April's Chinese Grand Prix, and the Monegasque driver believes these problems will not be resolved soon. He noted that they struggled in high-speed sections and expressed the need to address this issue quickly. However, he acknowledged that such problems cannot be fixed rapidly in Formula One. Charles Leclerc also pointed out that the difficulties began in Shanghai and reappeared in subsequent races, emphasizing the need to focus on this challenge. He mentioned that time is required to implement upgrades for this specific issue, and despite the long season of 24 races, Ferrari needs to recover quickly to avoid losing valuable points against Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes.